Hi, 1 and 2 year old leaders. We're preparing for February 16th in our series called Lost and Found. In this series, we've been taking a look at what happened to the Israelites when they were in captivity in Babylon. We talked about Daniel, and then we've talked about Obadiah. And last week we started talking about how King Cyrus had sent the people back to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. And we catch up on the story today at the end of Ezra into the book of Haggai. And in these books of the Bible, we see that the people, again, get discouraged because it's hard. Everything that they're having to do to rebuild the city, rebuild the temple, it's hard work. And they're facing opposition all around them. And because it's so hard, they get discouraged and they feel like maybe since it's so hard, God doesn't want them to rebuild the temple. In fact, there's a person that shows up as they're building and asks them, "Are you supposed to be building?" And they told them, "Yes, we're supposed to be building the temple." And so this guy sends a message to the king and asks the king, "Are they supposed to be doing this?" And they go back and they look into scrolls just to show you, how much time had passed, probably about 16, 20 years between the start and the finish or the start and the start again of them rebuilding the temple. And so we're probably looking at like 30 years or something before they get back to where the temple is beginning to look like the temple again. And as they're reading through the scrolls, they realize that King Cyrus did in fact tell them to build the temple. And he even made a decree that the Persian Empire would help fund the temple being built, which is pretty crazy that God provided for that for the people as well. So they come back and tell the guy who is questioning it not to mess with the people, let them build, let them have anything that they need. And so the prophet Haggai told the people to keep building because God was with them. God's people finished building the temple, and then they celebrated the Passover. God's people were so happy that God kept his promise to help them rebuild the temple. And one of the things we can remember or know from all of this is sometimes we allow ourselves to focus on things we think God should have done but didn't. Like we feel like because it's hard, maybe it's not right. And I know I fall into this so many times, but we miss out on the truth that God keeps his promises, that his promise is so much bigger than the small pain that we are feeling now. His promise is so much bigger than we can even imagine or picture what his whole story is. And so we can trust God, always trust God and talk to him because he lives with us. He lives in us if we are believers. So in your small group time today with kiddos, you have some rhythm instruments and you get to just have a big celebration with your worship music, just like the Israelite people would have done as the temple was being built and finished, to celebrate that together. So I encourage you, pass out your instruments, have a good time playing your instruments and singing together and dancing together as you worship and praise God for all that he is and all that he has done. You also have some coloring pages if you'd like to do that before the kids leave, and then you can pray with them and send them home. Thank you so much for leading. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.